Homosexuality dash heterosexuality. What's the difference? In heterosexual sexual union or intercourse, the male is within the female, looking at her face, holding her body, feeling her body pressing against his own. As he feels the pleasure of orgasm, he is seeing her face, or at least feeling her presence. So the pleasure tends to make her more beautiful and her body seem more attractive. But in homosexual sex, first of all homosexuality is an extension of masturbation, sex with yourself. As you reach orgasm, that pleasure becomes as though you're looking through rose-colored glasses. You literally see your dick as better looking than it ordinarily does. I should explain that St. Thomas Aquinas defined beauty this way: that which gives you pleasure when you look at it. I come along and reverse things a bit. Instead of beauty producing pleasure, I say pleasure can produce beauty. Pleasure can produce the perception of beauty. Now, if you are holding your dick and squeezing the head of it, that pleasure can make that sex organ look attractive to you if you are looking at it. But there's much more to it than that. Pleasure produces beauty, but beauty produces a feeling of love. So you may say, I love my dick. Next, love can be followed by praise, and praise is accompanied by a particular form of praise, flattery. So you literally flatter your dick with words like, quote, you are the most important thing in my life. Vince Lombardi, legendary coach of the Green Bay Packers, would say things like, quote, football isn't the most important thing in life, it's the only thing, unquote. When a man is masturbating, he is vulnerable to the urge to tell his penis, quote, you are the most important thing to me, or even, you are the only thing that I care about. The universe shrinks down to just one thing, dick. Next, flattery is accompanied by the elevation of priorities, or moving upward in the hierarchy of values, which is the same thing as worship. When you worship something, you literally say, you are at the top of my list of values. And that is what can happen during masturbation. All you have to do is say, quote, I care about you more than anything else in the whole wide world. Say it to your dick. And that automatically equals you worshiping your own dick. Self-idolatry. You're making your dick a sort of God. But this video is supposed to be about the difference between hetero and homosexuality, not about masturbation. So now I will tie masturbation to homosexuality. When a man says, I love you to his dick, he thinks it's okay because, after all, it's only his dick, not dicks in general. But that is a mistake because of the tendency to generalize. The human mind operates on inductive reasoning, which is a tendency to generalize. Example, you fall in a river and start drowning, but then a Chinese or Asian person dives in and saves your life. You feel very grateful to him, but you probably also feel closer to Asian people in general because of just that one experience. What the mind does is blow up that single experience and turns it into a norm which covers Asians in general. If you see someone else's dick and are surprised how attractive it looks to you, credit that to inductive reasoning. After all, haven't you already trained yourself to see your dick as attractive by viewing it while getting pleasure from it in masturbation? Inductive reasoning can lead you to go from, quote, I love my dick to, quote, I love dick, unless, of course, you resist such thinking. Masturbation becomes homosexuality only if you go along with the inductive reasoning process. You have to agree or else it doesn't work. So I'm not saying masturbation leads to homosexuality. I'm saying masturbation plus suggestion plus acceptance of the suggestion leads to the homosexual outlook. P.S. I'm not making this stuff up. I'm speaking from personal experience. So trust me, I know what I'm talking about. If you masturbate and want to become homosexual, you don't have to make an effort. Masturbation will take you there. It's like when you're in a river. If you want to go downstream, you don't need to swim. You don't need to make an effort. You can just float. But if you are in a river and you want to go upstream, you have to swim. You have to make an effort to go against the flow. Likewise, if you masturbate but you don't want to become homosexual, you have to make an effort to go against inductive reasoning. P.S. Today, youth, teenagers, or even pre-teenagers have access to pornography on the internet, which is totally unforgivable, inexcusable. Society is betraying young people, and there's no excuse for it because there could be things done to prevent access by young people. And but let me just say that it probably produces more masturbation than previous generations. And I want to say that today, psychologists tell us, masturbation is normal, blah, blah, blah. Well, actually, there is, I've tried to explain the danger, and I think I've done a credible job. Let me just sum up what I've said. Pleasure, sexual pleasure that you're getting in masturbation, if you're looking at your sex organ while you're doing it, you end up seeing it as attractive, and then you feel love towards it, and then you feel the desire to praise it and flatter it, and finally there's a sense of worship involved. And one more thing that I didn't put into the video. Brainwashing is where, let's say, government excludes points of view, or you only get a certain amount of information. Your access to information is limited, restricted. In the same way, in masturbation, you restrict the thoughts that you are thinking, and you think only a particular kind of thought. And so there is an element of brainwashing. You're actually brainwashing yourself, so to speak, because you're blocking out everything that goes against what you're doing. So there is that element to consider. Ask yourself, do I think about God when I masturbate? No. I notice that when I masturbate, I exclude God. One more thing. In heterosexual union, the focus is not on the genitalia. You're not looking at the genitalia. Whereas in homosexuality, you are looking at the genitalia. So there is that big difference.